Okay, been a while. Lately, I've seen a trend where my coworkers are buying standing desks. Obviously, this trend of standing desks kind of started in COVID times, but if you go to any well-fitted office, you'll see that most places provide standing desks to all of their employees. But I always question, why do we keep buying standing desks? I realize that this is likely a health trend and people think it's going to improve their health. We all know that sitting for long periods of time isn't really good for you. You're so sedentary. When they're sitting for long periods of time, they're saying that they get back pain, they have crap posture and so on. So people, they go to standing as a solution. Don't get it twisted. My issue isn't really that standing is bad. Quite the opposite. I do think that sitting for long periods of time really isn't good for you. But I also think that companies which sponsor creators on YouTube and go do office fit outs have been pushing this narrative that standing desks are the solution for people who sit for long periods of time. That standing desks are the solution to back pain, that it's the solution to poor posture, which are so common in so many people who work at desks for long periods of time. But standing isn't something that you're going to be doing for most of the day. You might do it for 5 minutes every hour, but for the other 55 minutes, you're likely going to be sitting. I've noticed that lots of the time, people slouch in their chair just to stand up at their standing desk and slouch leaning on the desk after a few minutes anyway. So why are we buying standing desks when I think that we should probably be buying better chairs? Obviously, high-end ergonomic chairs are really expensive. But standing desks are also really, really expensive. And I find that lots of people have ergonomic chair that's a few $100s, and then they also have a mid-end standing desk that's also a few $100s. Why not view the setup more as a collective and not individual pieces, and buy a desk that isn't motorized, but it has some manual height adjustment. You just set the desk at the right height from the get-go, so you can forget about it. And then you just buy a good chair with the rest of the money. For me, that seems like a logical choice, and it's something I'd like to see way more often when people are making their office spaces at home or even in office fit outs. Let's give a quick example. This is a cheap motorized standing desk at IKEA. This isn't the mid-end. This is the cheapest one that I could find on IKEA Australia's website, and it's $600 dues. And this office chair is also very cheap, and I think it's meant to be a little bit ergonomic, and it's also $250 dues. Together, that's $850 dues, around 500-ish USD. I'm saying that people should probably pick up just a regular desk for only $200 dues and spend the remaining $650 on a chair. For that price, you can get a really good entry-level office chair that would suit you better. I know that quite a few reviewers on YouTube really like the Colony Atlas, which is 300 USD if you're in the States. If you're in Australia, the options are far and few between, since the market is a lot smaller and we don't have the great variety of products, unless you can spend 1K and up. But if you want to get a good chair, you can always look at used office chairs, which is something that I've done before. The Haworth Sodi is a fantastic chair. It normally retails in Australia for over 1K new, but can be had for a couple $100s used. If you go on Facebook Marketplace, you can always get something like a Herman Miller Aeron on the very low end for $500. If you're lucky, I've seen them mostly at around $1,000, but I have seen listings that go quite quick, just for a few hundred. Haworth, Steelcase, Herman Miller, and they can be had for absolute steals with some quick Google work, or by being patient, just browsing Facebook Marketplace. At the end of the day, if you want to stand, then stand. But while you're standing, you don't have to be actively working, like typing and reading. You can spare 30 seconds to stand up, stretch, shake out your legs, go get some water, go to the bathroom, and just think about the things that are happening rather than just standing at your standing desk and actively working all the time. We're not really machines, we're people. So if you choose to stand at your normal desk, just give your brain a break. Go for a walk for a sec, just walk around, go to the fridge, grab a drink, relax a little bit. If you do have a standing desk and you think that standing leads to better productivity, then sure, go for it. But I still think that a great chair is not something to throw to the wayside. It shouldn't be a second thought, and I think that it should be a priority because you're sitting most of the time. Even hardcore standers probably only stand for 3 hours in an 8-hour workday. That's 38% of the time. The other 62% of the time, you're going to be sitting. So get a chair that works for you, that keeps you upright, that lets you sit for long periods of time, and then buy your standing desk if you think that you really need one. Anyway, this is more of a rant about a working situation that I don't just see at home, but I also see when I go to offices, where more money has been spent on desks than chairs, even though most people sit for the whole day and never ever stand, even if they're given the option of a standing desk, like me. But really, that's it from me. Good luck, go out there, and before you purchase your standing desk, consider, do you have a great chair already? And go from there. Anyway, thank you very much. I am out of here.